You ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Okay. This is the Down by Fall podcast. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
I'm Anna, and I'm here with Jay.
Hi, everybody.
And we're here to talk wrestling and play some games. Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Okay. And this is a wrestling podcast. We're going to follow all sorts of wrestling, whether you watch WWE, the brand new, shiny, sparkly, everybody's excited about it, All Elite Wrestling.
Yes.
New Japan.
Yes.
NXT.
Yes.
NXT UK. We haven't really gotten into it yet, but we might.
Like I watched the pay-per-view that just happened. I liked it.
It was good.
I kind of liked it.
I did too. And then we might do 205 Live too, because we might throw them a bone. I feel like nobody's talking about them, and I feel bad. They're so talented.
Yeah. Basically, we're going to watch and talk about as much wrestling as two adults can possibly do with full-time jobs and lives and things like that.
Exactly. This is our first episode, so we should probably spend a minute to just explain kind of who we are and what we're trying to do here.
We're husband and wife, and we are that rare couple that watches wrestling together. Because the couple that watches wrestling together stays together.
That is true.
But yeah, we are married.
We're very married.
We're very married.
Oh. Well, they can't hear you.
I had to pinch myself to make sure I wasn't dreaming.
Aw. And we do love to watch wrestling together. And honestly, that's something, if someone had told me I would be into a few years ago, I probably wouldn't have believed them. I'm new to being a wrestling fan, and I am totally hooked at the moment, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. I would say you're maybe even more hooked than I am.
I've been drinking the Kool-Aid. I think
I have such a hard time sitting through all 3 hours of Raw because it's 3 hours of Raw.
But then I'm like, what if we miss something?
Yeah.
Jay here has been a wrestling fan how long? Gosh.
Yeah, pretty much since I was a kid. Mid-'80s. I used to watch wrestling with my dad.
And I've been a wrestling fan for a few years. I have to, if I'm being completely honest, I never would have thought I'd be a wrestling fan. I knew of wrestling growing up. I remember my brother liking Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and all of that, but it was just never anything that I didn't think it had anything in it for me. But when Jay got the WWE network a few years ago, I was like, oh, you're a wrestling fan. And he was like, yeah, I am.
I was kind of embarrassed to admit it, but then I was like, oh, well, we're already married. I've got her. I mean, she can't really leave
He
now.
put a ring on it. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, all my dirty, dark secrets of being a wrestling fan can come out.
But little did he know, I watched the movie The Wrestler, like, not long before that and loved it. And so I kind of had a pre-peaked interest in it. I was more open to it than I think I would have been otherwise. And the rest is history. I guess I just instantly got hooked. It was The Shield and Rob Van Dam at the time that got me into wrestling, that made me interested enough to keep watching. And then I saw my first heel turn, which was when Seth Rollins turned on The Shield, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a soap opera. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the rest is history.
All right. What do you say we get to our predictions?
Okay. Are you ready for the latest 2019 prediction episode ever?
And by latest, we mean later than everybody else's, because here we are mid-January.
Yeah, we actually, kid you not, we actually made these predictions the first day of the year. I have the file evidence. It says January 1st at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We made these predictions. But we didn't actually get our acting gear to sit down and record.
But here we are now with our 2019 wrestling predictions.
Yeah, and actually some of these almost came true. So we might have to change a few of them.
Yeah, we'll go through some of these, and some of these might have already happened. We'll see.
Yeah, because I haven't actually read the list since we made it on the 1st. And there's a few things I remember. But we haven't actually gone through this list since we made it on the 1st. It's been 20 days since then. So, I mean, a lot's changed.
You want to go through it?
Yeah, let's get to it. Okay, the first prediction that I made was that NXT is going to have an all-women pay-per-view.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, so sometime in the year 2019, you think NXT is going to have an all-women's pay-per-view?
I think it's a real possibility. While they don't have as many women as the main roster does, they do have a lot. If you consider you have the Mae Young Classic entrance,
Right.
And you can also get the women from NXT UK involved. And they're starting new brands, aren't they, in different countries? So
Yeah.
I feel like collectively, if they pull all their women together, they can continue this kind of PR train that WWE's been on, trying to make women equal. And it's been successful in some points, but it still has a ways to go.
That's true. It does still have a ways to go. Okay. All right. All women's pay-per-view on NXT. That's yours. Are you ready for mine?
Yeah, what's your first one?
Okay. My prediction is Brock Lesnar is going to keep the Universal title until SummerSlam.
Ugh.
I know.
Gross.
I don't want it. But
I honestly think you're gonna get that right.
I don't,
because I don't understand.
no, I don't either. And I don't want to be right. I want him to lose the title like today.
I want to know how you get a job like that, a job where you never have to show up, and you get paid as much as he does.
Yeah.
And he's not okay. I may make some enemies right off the bat here, but I don't think he's that great. Is it just me, or does he only do 2 moves?
Well, we
He does Suplex City, or Shoeplex if you're speaking like Paul Heyman. Shoeplex City.
Suplex City.
But that's all he ever does. Like, I never saw him in UFC, so I don't know if there's an extra layer to him that I'm missing, but I'm just
It's hard because he's the guy with the title. He's the face of the brand at this time, and he's considered the biggest star, but he doesn't show up. And his matches, it's almost like if you've seen a Brock Lesnar match, you've kind of seen them all, you know. And they're exciting. It's cool to see him throw people around, but you know, it's like we've seen it. What's new, you know?
Yeah, it's like a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
It almost feels like the Roman Reigns situation threw them so bad that they don't know what else they can do.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what they're kind of trying to push Lars Sullivan so hard for. They're thinking, oh, it's another big, scary guy. But
I don't know. I feel bad for what the guy's going through, but I didn't really see much in NXT that showed me that he's ready. That he's ready for the main roster. He's ready for the spotlight. I didn't see it. He wasn't...
Lars Sullivan.
Lars Sullivan.
Yeah. Which actually... leads into my next prediction, which might have already happened. Mm-hmm. It's like there have been tweets, there have been walkouts, there have been people no call, no showing, and my prediction was a disgruntled wrestler quits publicly.
What happened?
I know, we have the Revival, who have openly asked for the release. We have Lars Sullivan, again, who seems has anxiety issues and hasn't shown up since, and we don't know what's going to happen. And
yeah. Which is hard. Which is a hard thing to do.
Gosh, I feel for him because I personally have struggled with anxiety, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And
right.
I can only imagine the amount of pressure he felt going into this because they were putting everything on him.
Yeah.
And good thoughts towards that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with AEW, it's gonna happen. I know that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's not a crazy outlandish prediction at all.
Big money, less wrestling dates. You know, they're talking like health insurance, things like that. I mean,
things that should be a given.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous that they don't have that already.
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay, so what is your next prediction?
I predict that Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey are going to go to SmackDown by October.
Both of them
for the whole, Fox relaunch thing where they want more realistic fighting, apparently.
I could see that because that would be a big draw because people flipping through on just regular TV will see, oh, I recognize that face, and probably be more likely to stop and actually watch it.
Yeah, with the kind of money they're putting up, I think they would insist on having those two.
But I could just see a whole new wave of new fans that are like, oh, I heard Brock Lesnar's on this show. When is he going to be on?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like if you hear your favorite celebrity is going to guest star on a show, so you start watching that show, but they never show up.
Or if your favorite NXT call-up is supposed to be on the show and all they keep running for 2 months are the promos saying they're going to be on the show soon over and over and over again.
It's been such a nightmare. Oh, all these poor NXT people.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me... Okay, the NXT call-up situation right now is just bizarre. They've been teasing it for weeks, and then they finally kind of have their main roster first appearances, but they're not necessarily in the ring, with the exception of Nikki Cross, who had already kind of had her main roster debut.
Yeah, I think she wrestled on SmackDown a little bit
Yeah,
ago.
she wrestled Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of hoping this is like, they're seeing all of these call-ups as kind of being mid-cards, with the exception of Lars Sullivan, and that they're secretly going to push up someone like Aleister Black, and that's going to be a surprise. Because they need to debut him as a surprise. That would be more interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
Just from a storytelling standpoint. Okay, so that kind of leads into my next one with the Fox deal. My next prediction is kind of like a big cosmetic overhaul for Raw and or SmackDown. Either or.
You mean like the look of the stage and the set and the logo?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of, well, okay, I've only been watching wrestling for a few years, but I'm like, they haven't really changed anything, except for like the horrible Uso graphics, like the text on screen.
Oh, that they were doing for a while.
Like they would have the fake like prison bars come down. It was very Jerry Springer-ish. I don't know what they were thinking.
Still doing that?
I hope not. But no, I feel like they're going to do something to try and revamp. I don't know. I feel like they're trying to be more legitimate. I feel like they're going to have to change cosmetically a little bit.
That works.
I don't know. I heard they used to have a different set. Like, I don't know. I've heard people refer to that.
They've gone through several sets and several logo things. And when they first started this brand split, they came out with all new logos and everything a couple years ago. So
See, that's what I think. I think it's going to be kind of a rebranding. Because SmackDown, it's no secret that Vince McMahon doesn't see SmackDown as the #1 show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could certainly see that happening, especially when SmackDown moves over to Fox. I think they're going to want to give them a whole new look and everything. So I could definitely see your prediction happening.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a big possibility. Okay, what's your next prediction?
Okay, number 3. If we've even been numbering these, I don't know.
I don't think so.
All right. I'm predicting a big return for the Royal Rumble, which is coming up next week as we're recording this.
Who will it be?
I think Rob Van Dam is going to show up.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Rob Van Dam. No, he's been away for a few years, and you're getting hints from him on social media that he might be ready for a return or something. I could see now's the time. The time is right, I think.
I think so too. Gosh, Rob Van Dam, I have to say he was one of my first favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, oh, he's great.
And one thing I learned the hard way about how WWE works is that sometimes wrestlers don't retire, they don't necessarily quit, they just stop showing up. Like, they're not on TV anymore. Because I remember I was like, it's been a few weeks since I've seen Rob Van Dam, and Jay here had to break the news to me that I probably won't see him again for a while. Yeah. And it's so sad. I'm like, this guy's amazing. Like, why don't they acknowledge it? Like, throw him a little party or a little shout out, something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's every time I think of him, I'm like, oh, I want to see him again. I hope that's true. I hope that happens. No, but honestly, more than that, I want him to kind of go to AEW.
I do too.
I think that'd be fun.
Okay, what is your next prediction?
My next one, I think, is something that a lot of people have been kind of thinking, is that Matt Riddle gets called up early.
Ooh, sometime in 2019, you think Matt Riddle's going to get called up?
I think so. He's young, he's cool, he's fresh, that kind of has something that WWE, I don't think, gets often, which is a good pulse on what younger people like. He has a good dose of youth, and I think he can get like a younger generation into wrestling.
That's a good point, yeah. And I could see that him with the MMA background also, I think, would do well on Fox when they move over in October.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's got an actual fighting background.
Okay, real quick though, thoughts on Matt Riddle so far? It's been a few weeks since he's debuted, and honestly, I love his wrestling, but I kind of wish he'd toned down the bro stuff a bit. Personally, that's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, less of the bro thing. I think he's great in the ring. He's got a good look. I like how he kicks off his sandals as part of his entrance. I mean,
I love that.
That's cool.
I honestly, what he reminds me of, and I kind of wish he would embrace it, kind of. He reminds me of Brad Pitt's character in True Romance. Kind of the stoner on the couch.
Yeah. Which means,
Which kind of feeds into the bro thing, but it's more stoner, less bro kind of thing.
I think they should just have him on a couch. And like people
he needs to just come out in bathrobes.
Yes.
He needs to like a Big Lebowski kind of bathrobe. Maybe have a carton of milk. I mean, come on.
I love it.
He needs to embrace like the slacker kind of, I don't know. And he kind of looks like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. Maybe he can get...
He does look like Jay. That's funny. Okay, so you think Matt Riddle's going to get called up sometime in 2019. That's a good prediction.
Yeah, I think so.
I could see that happening.
What is your next one?
I think John Cena is going to win the WWE title at WrestleMania, which will be his 17th time, which would break the record for most times to win the WWE title in WWE history.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they're going to go with that. I think they need that.
No wonder I was getting tired. He's had the title 17 times. No.
Well, not
I've actually
16, yeah.
Okay, to be fair, I was never big on John Cena until recently. I don't know. I feel like he's kind of refreshing coming back.
Yeah.
Now that he's taking more of a veteran passing the torch role, I kind of like him better.
I like his hair.
His hair. He looks like he's going to play a president in a movie or something. That's that kind of hair.
He's got 1984 Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator hair. Like, pre-haircut. Like,
that's true. He does. No, but that's actually something I feel like they've been kind of hinting at. I think, honestly, if we'll see how Royal Rumble plays out next week, and there's a good chance that might happen. Okay, my next prediction is, honestly, I think probably one of the most far-fetched ones that could happen. And I was thinking that AEW gets a streaming deal with a platform kind of like Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime.
Ooh.
Instead of going the cable route.
Okay.
Now bear with me for a minute. I think this because they're a youthful brand. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime are trying to take over the world. They're trying to take over the world of cable. They're trying to take over grocery stores. I mean, they kind of want their foot in every market.
Yeah.
No, but I feel all these different platforms, they're trying to kind of take over cable. They're taking over a lot of things. And one thing that they don't really have a lot of is sports. And AEW is a youthful brand. I think they're going to be cooler, edgier than WWE is. And I don't know. I just think it'd be a no-brainer for both ends. I think it's a win-win situation for them.
So you think that AEW would go streaming only or streaming on top of their cable deal? From what it sounds like right now, it looks like they're pretty close to it. They've got some major networks that are interested in.
But then again, keep in mind, we made these predictions on the first of the year before we even heard what AEW's announcement was.
Yeah. No, but I mean, do they have hopefully a streaming deal for the pay-per-views or something like that?
I hope so, because
I hope so too.
The one thing I really do love about the WWE network is not paying $40 per pay-per-view. And I don't want to do that if we can help it. I wish if they come up with their own streaming platform kind of thing, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in too. I'm all in.
I'm all in. Now, what is your next prediction?
Okay, this is an older prediction, and I don't know if this is going to come true or not, but I predict the WWE is finally going to put those old Bullet Club members together. You know, AJ Styles, Finn Balor, the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows. Put them all together in a stable, but boy, it's looking like, they may not be around for much longer, depending on their contract situation.
Yeah, it's sounding like when you made that prediction on the first, I remember I did hear this, and it was like, okay, that makes sense. But now they have Finn Balor fighting for the championship at the Royal Rumble, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Bullet Club members' future with WWE is kind of up in the air at this point.
Yeah. We don't know for sure about their contract situation, but apparently they are all up pretty soon. And
I could see, honestly, like, I could see Gallows and Anderson wanting to leave because they haven't done anything with them.
they haven't, and they're so talented.
For a minute, they tried to do the Balor Club thing, but then they moved them to SmackDown. And it was like, why?
It's so bad.
And they still had Finn Balor wearing Balor Club stuff. It was like, okay, his memberless club?
Yeah. Oh, cool. You're in a club all by yourself. All right.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Oh, WWE.
Yeah.
Speaking of factions, my next prediction.
What do we got?
The way mine played out in my head already, it's too late to happen that way.
Okay.
I was thinking, okay, they announced that there are going to be these NXT call-ups with Lacey Evans, Nikki Cross, Heavy Machinery, EC3, and Lars Sullivan. But in my head, this prediction was that they're about to call these people up. They maybe even stand them in the ring together to announce, like, introduce them to the WWE universe.
Mm-hmm.
But the Undisputed Era comes out and invades.
Ooh.
I think that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
But my prediction technically is Undisputed Era invasion. But it could still happen. It's just, there's no way it's going to happen in the way I thought originally.
Right, yeah. I could see it happen. I mean, they've been in NXT for a few years. I'm kind of... Part of me doesn't want it to happen because I'm just not confident that they would know what to do with them.
Yeah, WWE hasn't been kind to factions.
No. Kind of factions or, undersized wrestlers. I mean...
Yeah, I don't think they would know what to do with them, Cole.
And they are running the show down in NXT, and I just don't want to see them get called up if they're not going to be used right.
Yeah.
They need them. They need what they got, but...
They do need them.
Are they going to know what to do with them?
I think if they call them up, it could work, but if they grow it... If they're like, okay, we're here now, and we're accepting new members.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of pull a quick one like they did with Roderick Strong joining the Undisputed Era, where it was like he kind of surprise attacked his own partner, Pete Dunne. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
And they could get like, I think Finn Balor would be a fun member of that, like a heel Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Who else do you think?
Curtis Axel. What? Don't laugh.
That would be fun. Heath Slater.
Heath Slater.
And honestly, that my prediction is that they get called up in invasion style, because I think it would be a disservice to who they are as a group to not have them just invade and start attacking everybody.
Yeah, they should.
Okay, what is your next prediction?
Oh man, I feel bad about this. I mean, this was a prediction that I did. When did we do this? Before the 1st of January.
No, it was the 1st of January at like 2 p.m.
Oh, okay.
According to the file that I saved.
Oh, there you go. I predicted at that time that the Lars Sullivan experiment would be a failure.
Yikes. Yeah. And that did kind of turn out to be a failure.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know yet. We don't know, it's only January, but, things could turn around, and I hope for his sake and for his safe, his health and everything that he's okay and he's able to turn it around. It just, at this point, it's not looking good. And
yeah, I'm hoping it so too. I hope he comes, perseveres, and then the only way you get points is if the experiment fails from WWE doing what they normally do, just shoving people down your throat that you don't want.
Yeah, and that's how I meant it. Certainly not with what he's going through right now. I just, yeah.
No, we wish him the best. We hope he gets healing, gets relaxed, hopefully gets a little less pressure on his back, and is able to get called up and have fun.
Yeah. I saw him kind of fitting the mold of another Bobby Lashley, which nobody wanted, and, we continuously get crammed down our throats.
Now, my next prediction almost came true. And it almost came true on the absolute first episode of the year of SmackDown. I think it was actually the day that we made this list. I was like, are you kidding me already?
Yeah, that's funny.
And my prediction is that the man takes down a man. That's Becky Lynch takes down a male member of the WWE.
Okay.
And that same day, she throws John Cena out of the ring.
That was good. Yeah. Now, what do you think the chances are of Becky Lynch having a match, an actual match with a male superstar.
I honestly think if it happens, she's going to be the one to do it. I think they were flirting with the idea with her and John Cena, and it was amazing. It was so much fun to watch. And honestly, go off on a tiny tangent here, but I don't understand why men and women don't wrestle each other. Because I get it. I get that they're wary of domestic violence and victims of domestic violence, and it's hard to see a man attack a woman. But what they could do is show that women can be equal.
I think they do that in Lucha Underground.
Exactly. Yeah, we watched it there, and it was great. It was like women, like Becky Lynch throwing John Cena out of the ring. It's empowering.
Yeah.
It's not a scary thing.
See that.
It's not a man striking a woman thing. And yeah, I think it's a good thing.
So do you think that we'd see a match like that in 2019?
That's my prediction. I think the man's going to take down a man.
Okay.
I hope so.
Okay.
I mean, they're wanting to break new ground for women. That's the next step, I think, organically.
I think so. All right. Well, let's look forward to that. My prediction is not something that I want necessarily, but I think the Boogeyman character will appear on WWE TV at least 3 times this year, because wrestling can be terrible sometimes.
I don't think I want this.
I don't want it either.
Now, that being said, I love horror movies and scary things. And the one thing about older wrestling that intrigues me is that they have Undertaker, Kane. They had these almost like supernatural characters like the Boogeyman, and I love that kind of stuff. But the Boogeyman, the eating worms thing, I can't eat worms. I can't.
No.
I can't watch people eat worms either.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you've seen it once, you've seen it 100 times. Idea. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, we watched what was it? Matt Hardy's Halloween party.
What was it? Yeah.
Like, it was like this last Halloween, and like, I think they were kind of over gratuitous with the Boogeyman eating worms thing. I feel like half of what that special was him eating worms and them showing it.
That's so bad. Ugh.
Yeah, so I really hope this doesn't come true.
No, I don't want that to come true, and I don't want my Brock Lesnar keeping the title till SummerSlam to come true.
Yeah, and if he comes, I hope he doesn't bring his worms. Ugh.
Now, Brock Lesnar being forced to eat worms, I'm in.
Brock Lesnar should eat a lot of broccoli.
Why?
It's just a sample of the humor you'll find on the
Oh my goodness.
Down by Fall podcast.
Yep.
Just kidding.
Tip your waitress.
What? Okay, so my next one is about an appearance, and it's something I do hope happens, but only if it's in a positive, tastefully done way and not like a forced way. And that's a appearance by Roman Reigns.
Ooh, okay.
I never not liked Roman Reigns. I did feel like WWE was pushing him before, but I never stopped being a fan of his. I think he has like the it factor that it takes to be the kind of top guy in the company. And whether or not people wanted that, you can't deny that you can still kind of feel like there's a hole missing where he was.
Yeah, yeah. And you gotta, they put him in a tough spot. I mean, they made him the guy, but they
put everything
feeding
on
him lines. They were like telling he couldn't be himself. I mean, he had to go out there in front of a live audience and say dated jokes out of Vince McMahon's head, like suffering succotash and stuff that just made no sense. And
yeah,
I felt bad for the guy.
He's got a look. He's got the charisma. He needed a manager.
Mm-hmm.
He needed a manager and to be quiet and to not have to talk. And then, because I feel like when people liked him, it was when he was the big, strong, silent member of the Shield. He was the leader, but he didn't talk. He had Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins for that. It kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
And it was better then.
Yeah.
But we wish him nothing but a speedy recovery and hope to see him because he's able to health-wise and because things are moving in the right direction for him.
So you're predicting an appearance just
just hopefully like a little happy, okay, things are getting better update. That's just wishful thinking because we're pulling for the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, what's your next one?
Okay. Gosh, this
perfect timing.
maybe.
I'm peeking at his notes, and it's yeah.
All right, so I predict Sasha Banks and Bayley leave the WWE after they have the big horsewoman showdown, but I don't know. I mean,
it might happen before.
It might happen before. I just don't know.
Now, if you don't follow Twitter or any kind of wrestling news, what happened was, who was it that tweeted? It was Scott Dawson?
I think
from
so.
the Revival?
One of the Revival guys, yeah.
I don't have the tweet in front of me. No, but he tweeted something to the effect of leaving WWE, and Sasha Banks replied with a, "Take me with you."
Yeah.
And then there was a tweet later that she posted saying something to the lines of course I meant, like, to be a tag team champion, but I'm sorry, take me with you?
Yeah.
That doesn't fit in that context.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
I don't think there'd be anyone surprised if they were unhappy with WWE right now, because both of them have been kind of buried with the same boring storyline since I've been watching wrestling.
Yeah.
That's how long this feud has been going on, since 2014 at least. I feel, right? Oh, it's okay. What they've done with Sasha Banks and Bayley is just proof that they need writers that aren't men. Call me WWE.
They have writers. They have an army of writers
that don't know how to write for women, because they think women are just BFF, don't take my man minded. They think that's all they can think of for women.
Don't you think that men over 50 have their finger on the pulse of what it is to be a woman?
No.
Okay.
No, but I really, one thing I do hope WWE does is let the women wrestle. If they're not going to hire a woman writer, at least let the women wrestlers kind of guide their own storylines. I feel like they're kind of doing that with Becky Lynch right now, and I hope they keep going, because her storyline has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. She's the man. I mean, and it's great.
Yeah.
And okay, so my next prediction is kind of the same thing. Mine was that we will see a 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen match this year.
I think that would be great. Hopefully, things don't fall apart before then. There's the problems with Sasha Banks possibly wanting to leave. There's the rumors of Ronda Rousey wanting to, quit wrestling and start a family after WrestleMania. I mean, I hope they can get this thing done.
I hope so too, because I feel like that's kind of what everybody wants. Mm-hmm. Shayna Baszler is so amazing.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Shayna Baszler and the rest of the horsewomen down in NXT, and it's like, gosh, there's so many things that need to happen before this can go into effect. You'd have to call up the other horsewomen, turn Ronda Rousey heel, because I don't see Shayna Baszler ever being a babyface. How do you have her be anything but heel? She's terrifying.
I don't know. Ask Bobby Roode.
Yeah, good point. But, no, but you have to get those 3 called up. Make Ronda Rousey a heel, because that's the only way that's going to work. You have to get Charlotte and Becky back on the same page. You have to get Sasha and Bayley moved over to SmackDown, I guess.
And make them interesting?
Make them interesting again, which I feel like they're trying to do with Sasha Banks fighting Ronda Rousey at Royal Rumble, but we'll get into that later. But I'm not looking forward to that match. I made this prediction, but I don't see it happening this year, honestly. If it happens at all.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I do see happening, and when I made this prediction, now they're starting to talk. Alexa Bliss is coming out and saying that she might be close to an in-ring return, and I predicted that this would be the year that she comes back.
I hope this is true. I like Alexa Bliss. I think she's charismatic. She's fun on the microphone. And I've heard mixed reviews about her wrestling. I've heard people say she doesn't sell things well enough. And no, we hate to see anybody's wrestling career get cut short. So it'd be nice to see her get a chance to wrestle again. It's horrible what happened to Paige. And now Paige is probably... I don't know what this other role they said they were going to put her in is, but looks like the unemployment line role.
No, they'll keep her under contract for sure.
No, they'll keep her under contract so she can't go to All Elite. But
Yeah.
Whether or not they do anything with her, only time will tell.
I know.
Okay, now we're bound to our last our last predictions, and I saved mine best one for last.
Okay, what do you got?
I'm just kidding. Well, mine is that it was kind of like one of the first ones I wrote down, actually, but I don't know why I saved it for last. But it's that the Iconics become SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I love the Iconics. I think they're adorable, and they're so funny.
I could see that happening. I could definitely see that.
I think they're the strongest women's tag team, aside from Sasha Banks and Bayley. If you think about it.
You got the Riot Squad, whatever they are.
But that's a threesome.
Yeah, I mean, they're talented wrestlers that don't really have any business being together.
But yeah, like, if you think about it, what other tag teams are even on SmackDown? You have Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose.
Uh-huh.
You had Naomi and Asuka, but Asuka's champion now, so that's not a possibility. Unless she loses the title to Becky Lynch at Royal Rumble, just in time for her to compete with Naomi for the championship belt at Elimination Chamber.
I would hate that.
I would absolutely riot.
Yeah.
I would riot so much that I would join a squad. Just kidding.
Double tip your waitress.
Be nice.
So, you think the Iconics are going to win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships?
Yeah. This is, we made a certain number of predictions, and you can tell I ran out of steam with this one.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you somebody who didn't run out of steam on theirs, me. Because my last prediction is something that, sadly, oh gosh, I hope doesn't come true, but I see it happening. On one pay-per-view in 2019 will be headlined by Kane coming back and fighting for a title.
No. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants it, but...
Isn't he a mayor or a governor?
It doesn't matter. He's a big name that Vince McMahon thinks people want to see. He's one of those crutches. That's why they keep dragging old Undertaker out there, and everybody, instead of developing new stars, they just bring out the old ones.
See, this is where our different history as wrestling fans differ, because I didn't grow up watching this stuff, and so when they bring out a lot of these old wrestlers, it's like, gosh, again? It's like, I don't get it. I don't know.
Well, honey, you're watching him now.
Undertaker, at least, is cool. He has a great entrance. He's got this, like, intimidating factor about him. But Kane is just a goofball. I don't know. Like, the corporate Kane character...
Yeah, once they unmasked him and he started talking, that was bad.
Yeah, and then they had his thing with Daniel Bryan for a bit, and I hated that.
Mm-hmm. It's a good point.
Yep, so that's our 2019 predictions.
But more importantly, dear listener, what are your predictions?
Yeah, let's hear what you have to say. You can email us at downbyfall@gmail.com, or you can catch us on Instagram. We're also downbyfall on there. This is still a brand new podcast, so we're still getting all our I's dotted and T's crossed, but we'll have more interactive ways to get in touch going forward.
All right.
So we'll check in as these predictions either do come true or become obvious that they can't come true, and we'll see who gets some points out of this.
Sounds good.
That's it for now.
Catch you next time.
See you next time.